Hey, welcome. In this lecture, we are going to create the instructions on how each new user is going to be created. Okay, but before then, you can see currently our fields are not really required. That is, whenever we call this vendor user model, it's going to be optional to either pass the value or not. And what we want to do now is we want to make all these fields must. That is, whenever we call this vendor user model, it says must we pass the value to this, it is must we pass the value to this, and others. Okay, now to do this, what we have to do first of all is over here, we need to add this call bracket and this also. And now we have to make all these fields required, 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 required. And the reason for this, whenever we call this class, it is a must, we have to pass in the value required, required, and lastly, required. And now over here, we have to add a question mark. You can see currently we have not assigned any value to this at this stage. So what we have to do is to add this to say it can be null. Over here, add a question mark, this, 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 this. Okay, we have two left, and this. Great. And now we can create the instructions. To do this, we have to call this vendor user model. And what we're about to do will also convert all this into a JSON or a map. And to do this, we just have to say from JSON or JSON, whatsoever way it pronounces it. And over here, we can then say map, and the data we're expecting is a type of map, and they are going to be string and also objects. Great. And now we can call this JSON. Great. And over here, we need this. And now we can say this. This we basically refer to this class called vendor user model and add this. And now you can see it wants us to pass uh, the instructions. And over here we can say approved, and we can then call this JSON variable. And over here we're going to pass in approved, and we then have to specify the type of this, or we basically want to convert this to a bow. We can just say as bow. Great. And over here we need this no check. Okay, and we can just break this first of all and add this over here. um and just break this also and break this. Okay, and the second field we want is the business name, or we can easily just copy this and paste this, and this is business name, and this is going to be as string, and copy this now, 1 2 3 4, and the next is city value, sorry, business name, and city value, and it is also a string, and country 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 value, yes, it is also a string, and email, email. Sorry, just gonna copy this. Uh, email, email. Yeah, it is also a string. Phone number, phone number, phone number, and we have one, two, three, four, four left. So we can just duplicate this four more times. One, two, three, four. And we stopped at phone number, and this is going to be state value, and this is store image, store image, and this is this, this, and lastly, we just have to duplicate this again, and this. Okay, I think we have this twice. Okay, seems good. And capital O, and use control and see what we are missing. Okay, I think we need what are we really missing? Oh, sorry, we need this over here. Okay, great. And in the next lecture, we're just going to continue from here, and I'm going to try my best to explain this. But what we are basically trying to do is to create the instructions on how each new user is going to be created. And we said vendor.from snap. Sorry, what am I saying? Vendor user. We're basically calling this class we have over here, vendor user model dot from JSON, and it's going to be a type of map. Map is something that basically has a property name and a property value. That is key value pairs. You can see this is the property name, and this is the value or property value. And object is also referring to that. And string, you can see basically all our data is going to be a type of string and also a type of object, right? And this are basically the instructions. The first field we have is approved, and we have to specify the type. It is a type of bool. That was why we have to say as bool. And the second field we have is the business name, and we have to say as string. And the rest of the field we have are all strings. So this is basically what we are trying to do. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.